Hello students, welcome to Software classes, and this is Dr. Sakar over here. Now, for the question number 12, we have been given the complex that does not obey the 18 electron rule, and we have to find which one it is. So here we have been given the atomic numbers of titanium, Mn, tantalum, iridium as 22, 25, 73, and 77 respectively. For the first complex A, it is eta 5, and that is C5H5, which is a cyclopentadienyl ion, and that is coordinated to titanium. So the hapticity eta 5 is indicating that it is connected to 5 atoms of the cyclopentadienyl anion, and besides that, it is coordinated to CO4, that is carbonyl. So if you do the electron count, we will say for the C5H5, it is a 6 electron system. For titanium 0, it is 4 electron system. For the 4 cobalts, it is 8 electrons. So the total electron count will be 18 over here. Now for the complex B, it is Mn SnPH3 whole twice, and then we have 4 carbonyls. For each SnPH3, that is 1 negative charge. For the 2, it will be -2, and then we have the value of X for Mn. So it will be Mn2. X here is going to be equal to 2. Okay, so that means it is a D6 system. And then for each SnPH3, since there are 2, so 2 electron into 2, that is 4 electron system. For the 4 carbonyls, it is going to be 2 electron into 4, so it's going to be 8. Again, this is an 18 electron system. Now for again the next complex C, it is again C5 eta 5 C5H5, so it is a 6 electron system. And then we have iridium, we have a CH2, and we have PMe3. So this is having oxidation state 0, this is having -2, this is -1, so outside charge is 0. So obviously we will say that outside charge is 0. So we will say here it is going to be, if it is, sorry, if it is going to be 0, then obviously the charge or oxidation state on iridium is going to be over here 3. Okay, it is going to be 3. That means iridium will be giving 6 electrons. Then for eta 5 C5H5, it is going to be 6 electrons. For the CH2, it is 4 electrons. And we have again for PMe3, it is 2 electron donor, so it is going to be 6 electrons. So all total, we are going to have 18 electron system. For the tantalum, there is chlorine. 3 chlorines are there. For each chlorine, it is -1. So -3. For PET3, it is obviously neutral. For CMe3, obviously it is again -2. So over here, we will say that the tantalum is going to have the value of X, okay, the value of X to be as +5. So it is going to be +5, not 4. It is going to be +5 because here it is 0. All right. So here again, for tantalum, it is going to be 0 electrons. That is the correction we are doing. It is +5. So for 3Cl, obviously, 2 into 3, it is going to be 6 electrons. For PET3 is going to be 2 electrons. For CHCMe3, it is going to be 4 electrons. Okay. So we will say now the total electron count over here is going to be 12 and not 13. So this is the complex, that is complex number D, that is not following 18 electron rule, and that should be our answer. For the question number 13, hybridization of I3 minus ClF3 and then SF4 we have to find. Now just follow the rule that when there is electrons count is more than 8, then you divide by 8 to get the steric number. From the steric number, you try to get the hybridization. For steric number 2, it is sp. For 3, it is sp2. For 4, it is sp3. For 5, it is sp3d. And for 6, it is sp3d2. So that is what you have to remember. For iodine, if you do the calculation, then it is 7 for each iodine. So 3 into 7, it is going to be 21 plus 1 electron. So it is going to be 22. So now if you have 22, say you divide by 8, then obviously that will go, say, 2 times. Then you have, this is going to be 16. So you're left with 6. This 6 you divide by 2. So you have 3. Now this 2 and this 3, this 2 is basically indicating bond pair, and this is indicating lone pair. So your total over here electron count is going to be, the total electron count over here is going to be 5 electron pair, which means the hybridization is going to be over here sp3 d, sp3d. Okay, and 2 here, as I said, is going to be bond pair. So obviously, if you follow the Bend's rule, in which we have to play the lone pairs in the equatorial plane and the electronegative groups over here in the axial bonds. So obviously, we get a structure over here of iodine is to be now linear in shape. And the hybridization, we can see it is sp3d. For ClF3, again, for Cl, it is what? For Cl, it is going to be, we will say, 7. Then we have a F, 3F. So that is going to be 3 into 7, that is going to be 21, plus again 1, 7, that is 28. So 28 divided by 8 is what? 28 divided by 8 is what? Let's see. 28, if you divide by 8, then obviously you have a 3. Then you have 24. So you have now 4. So this is the amount of bond pair. You have a 4 number, so you divide by 2 because it is less than 8. Now you have a 2. So this is your lone pair. Okay. So again, the electron count, you will say 5 electron pair. So for a 5 electron power pair, it is again going to be sp3d. Okay. Let's do for SF4. Sulfur is 6 and we have 4 fluorines. So S6, for S it is 6. So 4, that means 4 fluorines means 28. 28 plus 6 is going to be 34. Now you have 34. 34 is a number greater than 8. So you divide by 8 again. That is going to be 32. So you have a 4 over here that indicates your bond pair. You have a 2. So that is going to be going 1 times. That is going to be your lone pair. So again, in this case, as you can see, you have 5 electron pairs. That means your hybridization is going to be over here, sp3d. Hybridization is going to be sp3d. So for this also, it is going to be, I will say, sp3d. So here, obviously, our answer is going to be then C. Okay. Now, given question is question number 14. Reaction of NiCN4 with metallic potassium in liquid ammonia. Potassium in liquid ammonia gives away electrons, forming a conducting liquid. At 33 degrees centigrade yields complex E. So according to the reaction, it is NiCN4 NiCN4 This is in liquid ammonia, so it is forming complex this E. All right. Now in complex E, we have the oxidation state on nickel as 0, whereas in the previous one, it is in 2. Okay. The geometry and the magnetic behavior of E respectively is, okay. So for a, this is the reference you can consult. For a NiCN4, it is basically a square planar complex. Okay. For a NiCN4, it is a square planar complex, D8 system. So if you do the VBT, if you do a VBT, you will find this complex to be as diamagnetic and square planar. Okay, this complex will be as diamagnetic and it will be square planar. Okay. Now, same complex, okay, over here when you add +2 electron, nickel goes to nickel 0, okay. Then if you do the VBT, so it becomes basically a D10 system. Now if you do the VBT, so this is your 3D level, this is your 4s level, this is your 4p level. So you add all the electrons over here for a D10 system, okay. Okay, so all the d orbitals, inner d orbitals are now occupied. Then you have the 4 electrons coming from the Cn. So obviously this is forming a sp3 hybridization. So it is going to be tetrahedral and it is going to be diamagnetic. So our answer here is going to be tetrahedral and diamagnetic. And again, this question is directly from Shiver-Atkins. Okay, so one can consult Shiver-Atkins for this type of a question. Again, another question which is again from Hui, Shiver-Atkins, or you can say Housecroft. Question number 15 says the decreasing order of CC bond length in the following species, which is given as 1 Cl3PT CH2 double bond CH2. Complex 2 is Cl3PT CN whole twice C double bond C double bond C CN whole twice. Okay, that is complex number 2. That is complex number 2. Now you have Cl3PT CF2 double bond CH2, and then you have Cl3PT CF2 double bond CF2. So here the theory is, again, it is written over here, so I'm not going through that part. That is for you to consult. However, I've summarized the facts over here. Electron withdrawing groups attached to the ethylene, okay, over here. Now that will be directly proportional to the pi accepting ability. Obviously, the more you have electron withdrawing groups attached to the ethylene, more will be its pi star electron accepting ability. So more, that means more electrons are going to enter the pi star orbital of the ethylene. So whenever the pi star orbital is getting filled by metal electrons from the metal via synergistic effect, what will one think that this particular C double bond C bond order is going to decrease. So it is going to convert from a double bond character to a single bond character. Now, so that is what we have written. So more you have the donation from the metal to the ethylene, okay, which obviously depends on what kind of groups are joined to the ethylene. As I've said, electron accepting groups will increase the electron density in the pi star orbital, which is an anti-bonding orbital. So more you have anti-bonding electrons in the electrons over the ethylene group, then what will happen? This double bond character will go to single bond character and the bond length will increase accordingly. So now let's judge from here how the bond length will now change for this type of complexes, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if we do that, now see, the most electron withdrawing group will be your Cn, okay, followed by fluorine, and then we have hydrogen. So if we check, then we see that complex 2 is joined to 2 such Cn, okay. So that will be the most electron withdrawing, and that will be having most high bond length, because here electrons are far more easier for electrons to get donated into the pi star orbital of the derivatized ethylene, okay. Here in between 3 and 4, if we consider, obviously 4 is having 4f2 and 3 is having 2f2, so obviously the bond length of the CF2 double bond CF2 will be more than that of CF2 double bond CH2. Okay, which will be more than that of CH2 double bond CH2. So obviously the order is here going to be 2 followed by 4 followed by 3 followed by 1, and that means our answer here is going to be C. All right. For the question number 16, the correct combination of metal enzymes given in column 1 with their characteristics, with their catalytic reactions in column 2. This is a memory based question, to be very frank. Okay. And you just got to remember the reactions over here. Cytochrome P450 is basically going to be behaving as a monooxygenase. So it is going to convert the RH functionalities to ROH. So obviously, 1 is going to be related to N. 1 is going to be related to N. All right. And we will say catalase is basically the destruction of H2O2 to water and oxygen. So 2 is going to be K. So 1 is N. So that means either B or either C is one of our answers. And 2 is K. So here we see 2 is K. But in B, 2 is not K, but it is L. So obviously C is going to be our answer. Over here, we will say C is going to be our answer. Let's just check now. Galactose oxidase is basically conversion of an alcohol to aldehyde. So obviously 4 is going to be L. Yes, no, 3 is going to be L. So obviously we see 3 here is going to be L, and cytochrome C oxidase is basically conversion of oxygen to water. Okay. It is a hetero atom enzyme where we have iron and we have a copper. So cytochrome C oxidase is basically conversion of oxygen to water, and that through by 4 electrons. So obviously C is going to be our answer. Okay, now in question number 17, it is given according to the crystal field theory, DD transitions, okay, observed in TiH2O whole 6. Okay. Which options are correct? Obviously, we have to find out. Laporte forbidden, spin forbidden. Laporte allowed, spin forbidden. Okay. Laporte allowed, and we have spin allowed, and then we have Laporte forbidden and spin allowed. Okay. So basically, it is having only one electron. So if you have a light coming here, that will be promoted to this level. So here we can see at the excited state is going to show Jandler distortion. That is some additional information I'm giving you, for which we know titanium H2O whole 6 3+, we see a shoulder. Okay, that is there in the books. You can check out in Shivert Atkins or in Housecroft. However, we can see over here that from a T2G level to EG level, the transition is happening. Okay, so this is a DD transition. Okay, within the two same spin states. So obviously it is going to be spin allowed. It is going to be spin allowed, but however, there is no PD mixing over here. Okay, as I've written over here, there is no PD mixing, and hence obviously it is going to be Laporte forbidden. Okay, so I hope that clarifies the questions that you had, and thanks for listening. Welcome to Saurabh Sir classes. Have a great day.